Hi there, sixth graders. We are headed into lesson 103 today. I'm going to also combine a little bit from lesson 107. Okay, you're not going to be assigned homework from lesson 107, but lesson 107 relates to lesson 103. So I'm going to combine those concepts into today's lesson because we're not going to have time to get to lesson 107, which we normally would if quarter four had been meeting at school like we normally do. Okay? So lesson 103 is about perimeter of complex shapes. And what that means is when we have a shape like this that's not a full rectangle or a shape that's not a full square, where it looks like we have a piece missing, okay, we have to know the lengths of every single side to find the perimeter, okay? So on this one, you can tell that this chunk right here is missing. If it was there, it would be a full rectangle, and then we could say 2 lengths plus 2 widths would give us our perimeter, right? But we can't do that here, okay? Because we have what's called a complex shape. I have to know the length of every single side to find the perimeter, okay? So if you will see here, let me make these a little bit bigger. I know the length of the top is 3 centimeters. This side is 6 centimeters. The bottom is 7 centimeters. And this side is 4 centimeters. What I don't know is this side here labeled A and this side here labeled B. Okay? So what we need to do is take what we do know to find out what we don't know. Okay? So let's look at A to start with. A, okay? Now, if side A was complete and came all the way down here, I'm going to do a dotted line, okay? If side A was complete, it would be the same length as this side, right? 6 centimeters. But it's not complete. We're missing this section. Well, guess how long this section is? It's 4 centimeters. So if it was complete, it would be 6. But we're missing the 4 centimeter section. So 6 minus 4 tells me that this section A must be 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters for A. Okay? Now let's use that same reasoning to figure out how long section B is. Okay, here's B. If B was complete, it would go all the way to here, right? Okay? But if it was complete, it would measure the same as this, right? Which is 7 centimeters. But it's not complete. It's missing this section. And this section measures 3 centimeters. So if it was complete, it would be 7, but it's missing the 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. So the B section has to be 4 centimeters. Okay? Now I know the length of all 6 sides, and I can figure out the perimeter. Okay? 6 and 7 make 13, 4 more makes 17, 4 more makes 21, 2 more makes 23, 3 more makes 26 centimeters. Okay? Now I always double check myself, so I'll count it the other way. 3 and 2 make 5, 4 more makes 9, 4 more makes 13, 7 more makes 20, and 6 makes 26. 26 centimeters. Okay? So we're going to use what we don't know to figure out what we need to know. Or we're going to use what we do know to figure out what we don't know. I said it backwards. Okay? So this is lesson 103, perimeter of complex figures. Lesson 107 is area of complex figures. Okay? Area of complex figures. Now, if we were just dealing with a regular old rectangle, I would just say length times width to get the area, right? But this is not just a regular old rectangle. I have a chunk missing. Okay, so we have to separate this into 2 figures. Okay, so now that I know the lengths of all these sides, I'm going to separate it where the chunk is taken out. I'm going to just extend this. Bump, 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 bump. Okay, so now I have this part here and this part here. Okay, now these I can find a length and a width on, right? So on this one, The length is 4 and the width is 4. So this one, the area is 16 centimeters square. Okay? On this figure, I have to figure out which dimensions to use for the length and the width. Well, this is 6, and this is 3, I found, right? So the area of this part is 18 centimeters squared. So guess how I figure out the area of the whole thing? I'm going to combine the 16 and the 18. 16 plus 18 makes 34 centimeters squared. Okay. So perimeter of a complex figure is less than 103. And then one more step to find the area of that complex figure is less than 107. When we are finding the area, you have to be very, very careful what you use for your dimensions, okay? Because I've got all these numbers everywhere now, right? Now, let me show you another way to divide this figure. Because some of you might see, I could divide it this way, right? And have this little section and this big section and find those areas. Well, we should get the same area, but let's see what happens. Okay, let's use this top section. What are the dimensions here? I can't use 6. This 6 is this whole thing. I just want this part. Okay, I just want this part here, which is, we found, is 2, right? And then so that's this part. The length is 3. 2 times 3 is 6 centimeters square for the area of that section. Okay, now I need to find the area of this whole big section. What do I use for those dimensions? Well, the length is 7. I can't use 6 for the width because 6 goes all the way up to here. I need this length, right? This width here, which is 4. 7 times 4 is 28 centimeters square. 28 plus 6 is, guess what? 34 centimeters square. Okay? Okay. So let's try a few more examples. As I go through these examples, go ahead and draw them in your notebooks so that you can work it along with me, okay? Okay. So, here is our next figure we're going to work with. This top length measures 3. The side length measures 10 centimeters. This bottom length is 8 centimeters. This tiny piece here is 2 centimeters. And then I'll label this one A and this one B. Go ahead and draw that in your notebooks. Pause the video if you have to. Okay, so I need to figure out the length of A and the length of B. Okay, so A is here. Now, if it was complete, it would measure 8, just like this down here does, right? Move my arm, okay? But it's not complete. This part is missing, and this part measures the same as this, which is 3, right? So if the whole thing would be 8, take away the 3, that means that the A section has to be 5 centimeters. Okay? See if you can figure out B. For B, if it was complete, it would be from here to here, which is the same as this, 10 centimeters. Okay, but it's not. This part is missing. This part measures 2 centimeters. So 10 minus 2 is 8. This part here is 8 centimeters. Okay, so now go ahead and find the perimeter of this figure. Perimeter. Okay, let's see. 2 and 8 make 10. 10 more is 20. 3 more is 23. 8 more is 31. And 5 is 36. 36 centimeters for the perimeter. I said I always double check myself. I'm going to go the other way. 3 and 8 is 11. 5 more is 16. 2 more is 3 and 8 is 11. 5 is 16. 18. 8 more is 26. 10 more is 36. Okay, 36 centimeters for the perimeter. Now I want you to pause the video and see if you can figure out the area. Okay, separate it where it looks like it needs to be separated. Let's see if you can find the area of the whole thing. Okay, so I thought to separate it here. Okay, we'll do that first. So if I separate it here, I want to find the area of this section here. Okay, so what dimensions do I use? I can't use 8 because 8 goes all the way to here. So I need to use 5 for the length and 2 for the width. That gives me 10 centimeters squared for that area, right? Okay, now what about in here? What do I use for that? I can't use 8 because 8 stops here and I need to go all the way to here. So I have to use 10 and 3 for the width. 10 times 3 makes 30 centimeters square. Okay, so 10 centimeters square plus 30 centimeters square is 40 centimeters square. Okay, now what if instead you separated it here instead of the other way? That's okay. Okay, what do we use for the dimensions here? Okay, the length is 8, the width is 2. That's 16, right? 16 centimeters square. What about here? Well, I can't use 10. Okay, I have to use 8 by 3, which is 24 centimeters square. 24 plus 16, still 40. Okay? Okay, let's go ahead and look at this other example that I gave. Okay? My machine a little bit. Okay? So this top section measures 9 centimeters. This side measures 3 centimeters. This is missing. This is missing. This bottom measures 4 centimeters. And this side measures 5 centimeters. Okay? So I want you to see if you can find these missing lengths. See if you can find the missing lengths. Okay, I'm going to do this bottom section first. Okay? So if it was complete, it would be this long, which is the same as this 5, but it's not complete. It's missing this section, which measures 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So this part here has to be 2 centimeters right here. Okay? Now for this length. Okay? If it was complete, it would be 9, just like this. But it's not. This part is missing, and this part measures 4. Right? 9 minus 4 is 5 centimeters. Okay? So go ahead and see if you can figure out the perimeter and the area. Pause the video if you have to. Okay, perimeter is fairly easy as long as we add correctly. 4 and 5 make 9. 9 more makes 18. 3 more makes 21. 5 makes 26. And 2 makes 28. And I think that's it. I think I counted everything. That's why I do it twice, because sometimes you forget one. Okay? So I will go this way. I'll start at the bottom here. 4 and 6 make, or 4 and 2 make 6. 5 more is 11. 3 more is 14. 9 more is 23. 5 more is 28. Okay? So the perimeter is 28 centimeters. Okay? Now for the area. Okay? So I'm going to separate it this way first. Okay? So to find the area of this section, hopefully you use the 5 centimeters for the length and the 4 centimeters for the width, and you got 20 centimeters cubed or squared in here. Okay? And then for this section, hopefully you used 5 centimeters times 3 centimeters, which is 15 centimeters square. 20 plus 15 makes 35 centimeters squared. Okay? Now, let's see what happens if you separated it the other way. Whoops, what was that one? That one was 5. Okay, what if you separated it this way? Well, for this bottom section, you had to use 2 times 4, which is 8 centimeters squared. And for this part, we had to use 9 times 3, which is 27 centimeters squared. 27 plus 8, yep, 35 centimeters squared. Okay? Okay. Now, I want you to pause the video. I want you to do the practice set. There's only 2 problems on the practice set. Okay? On those 2 problems, I want you to find the perimeter. Now, it doesn't tell you to in the book, but I also want you to find the area. Okay, so find the perimeter and the area on A and B in your practice set. Okay, so here's A. Okay, so hopefully you found that this missing section here, let's see, if it was complete, it would be 12, but we're missing the 5, so this has to be 7 centimeters right here. Okay, and for this section, if it was complete, it would be 8, but it's missing 3, so this has to be 5 centimeters here. Okay, so for our perimeter, let's see, let's start here. 12 plus 8 makes 20. 5 more makes 25, 5 more makes 30, plus 7 is 37, plus 3 is 40 centimeters for the perimeter. Okay, now we wanted to go a step further and find the area. Okay, so I'm going to separate it here. Okay, so for this section here, I would use 12 times 3, which is 36. For this section here, I would use 5 times 5, which is 25. Let's see, 36 plus 25, that gives me 61 centimeters square for the area. Okay, now let's separate it the other way and see what we get. That's a good way to check yourself. Okay, let's separate it here. So for this section here, I would use 7 times 3, which is 21 centimeters square. For this section here, I would use 8 times 5, which is 40 centimeters square. 40 plus 21, yep, 61 centimeters square. Okay, B. So we have to find this missing length here. If it was complete, it would be 15, but we're taking away the 7. So 15 minus 7 leaves me with 8 millimeters for this part here. Okay, now this little section here, if it was completed, it would be 20, but we took away 16. That only leaves me 4 millimeters for this little section here. Okay, so now we can find the perimeter. These are big numbers to add. Okay, 20 plus 15 is 35, plus 16 is 35 plus 16 is 51, plus 8 is 59, plus 4 is 63, plus 7 is 70 millimeters. Let's go around the other way and add, just to make sure I added correctly. Let's start over here. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 8 is 19, plus 16, 19 plus 16, that is 17, 37, plus 15, 52, plus 20, whoop, Mrs. Dern may have, oops, this is not 7, this is a 5. So this is 50, plus 20 is 70. So we did it correctly, 70 millimeters for the perimeter. Okay, now for area. So I separated it here first. Okay, in this little section I would use 4 times 7, which is 28 millimeters square. For this section, this bigger section here, I would use 15 times 16, right? 15 times 16, whew. 6 times 5 is 30, that's 9, 1 times 5, 0, 4, 2. So we would have 240 just for this section, right? And we add it to 28, that gives me 268 millimeters square. Let's check ourselves by dividing it the other way. Okay, let's divide it here. Okay, so for this bottom section, I'm going to use 16 times 8. That's 48. 8 times 1, that's 12, right? And then up here, 7 times 20, which is 140. Let's add those together. Yay, 268 millimeters square. Okay. Okay, so we've combined a couple of lessons this time, but that's okay. We're about to wind down for the year, okay? I hope you guys have a great day, and I miss you all. And you guys take care, stay safe, and enjoy your families. See you next time. Bye.